It's time for something big, and I mean that both literally, as the blaster is far too big to fit in frame, and metaphorically, as this is the hardest project I have ever worked on ever. That project being the double Slingfire, or as I've affectionately dubbed it, the Slingwinrar. Yes, it is two Slingfires bolted together. However, they are primed by a single action and hooked up to a single trigger. Watch out, cat. It's kind of hard to see there on camera, but it does shoot two darts with one trigger pull. This was full of a lot of engineering problems, mostly because I'm an idiot, and also because there's no guide on how to do something like this. I had to come up with something completely original, and in my mind, I have succeeded that task. It does fire, does prime, does work, I'm happy with it. We'll start with the hardest part, or at least in my opinion the hardest part, this right here, the priming mechanism. Now, I couldn't just extend back the original rings for the levers for the Slingfires, because that would require way too much motion in order to prime it, which would only be primable if you were a chimpanzee, and also get in the way of the magazines here. So what I did is I put a single screw through both the original Slingfire levers, and used one of the original stocks as a extended lever. That being said, the way it primes is you punch it forward like that, then pull it back, and again, you fire it. If you punch it like you mean it, it's going to fire every single time, no problem. However, it's really difficult to do if you have not been used to firing it before. You have to be really careful with this one. I can fire it every single time, no problems whatsoever, fired it at least 250 times. However, somebody else picking this up and trying to use it, they would not be able to do it because they have no idea how to prime it. That being said, it is hooked up to a single trigger. The way that works is that these are the original Slingfire triggers, and there is a piece of metal that is ran between both of them. And in between there's a metal loop that connects to the original long strike trigger. And as you can see, yes, the handle is a long strike. Some of you may call that sacrilegious, however, I have about 5 of them, and I really like the long strike, but it's absolutely worthless, so I use something from it, or at least my favorite part from it, the handle and the stock. It is hooked up to a single long strike trigger, as I just said, and the handle is extended back with PVC. And the reason for that is, originally it would connect right here, but you tried to put that magazine in there, well, you couldn't actually physically grab the handle. What this does is allow me to put 12-round magazines in the handle right here, in the stock back here, which lets me carry more ammunition. It is built for 12-round magazines. You can't put 18 rounds in there because I would have to extend the stock back even more. And let's face it, this looks goofy enough with the 12s, I'd hate to have 18s up there. But 12s are definitely more than enough. And that basically gives me triple the firing capacity of a rough cut, while being able to easily swap out magazines, and I'm getting better accuracy because the barrels aren't sort of curved out like that, like in a rough cut. They are perfectly aligned, and it uses those Nerf bolt things that, you know, house the dart and give it more of a barrel for it to travel before it exits, while you don't get that with the rough cut. This, again, was a really, really tough project, but I succeeded with it, and I am very, very happy with it. You can remove the stock if you want to, which gives it a really, really nice profile, and as you can see here, it is standing up on its own, no problem at all. Well, I could gush about it for hours, but let's just say it's finally done, or at least done enough to use, and I am quite happy with it. I do hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions or comments at all, just leave them down in the boxes below. Have a good one.